Hello from Florida. I'm inspired to do a quick video about glaze testing. I don't have a script or anything, so if my voice hesitates, it's because I'm thinking. This is Arctic Blue, and I started by testing Arctic Blue on the 3 clay bodies that I use regularly in the studio. That would be speckled brown stoneware, Bella's Blend, and red, earthen red, it's called, earthen red. They're all cone 5/6 stoneware, and they're all from high water clay. That's typically what I do first. Then I wanted to do something with the Arctic Blue because the tourists here in Florida like the light blue colors, and I generally, actually I can say I never use a single color, with the exception of maybe Fern Mist because it's so beautiful, but there's very few where I don't use at least 2 colors, layering my glazes. So I started with another test tile. I didn't do all 3 clays because if you think about it, if I did every combination under and over with every clay body, with every glaze, that's all I would do. So I thought that I preferred the Arctic Blue on the Bella's Blend white clay, so that's the one I tested. So first you do a test on a test tile, and you take a good hard look at it. You see if you like it. I did. I liked the way the blue blended into the Albany slip. I liked the way it blended. It wasn't a hard line. That's something I'm always looking for. So once I got that done, I moved on to trying the combination on a small pot. And I was extremely pleased. That's upside down, just so you could see how beautiful the Albany slip looks when it's on Bella's Blend, which is sort of a buffy white clay when it's glaze fired. I liked the pull at the rim, and I liked the way it blended into the Albany slip. And I liked the way the Albany slip was light, like the sand of the Florida beaches. So then I tried it on some good pots, and unfortunately, for some reason, it really pulled away from the upper rim when I got to put it on bigger pots. And it was very discouraging because it was 3 salsa servers, a batter bowl. You know, at this point, I thought I had a glaze that worked. So I guess the moral of that story is you never really know. So just this last firing, I really, really want to have a light blue. So I decided to try to experiment on some little test pots that I had made for classes. But this time it's on the brown clay. Well, I really didn't like, first of all, no blend, no drippy blend from the Arctic Blue down into the Albany slip. That's just a drip. And the top rim was nice. It had sort of a break and a change in color that I liked. But it wasn't as good as that. So I also, in this same test, instead of putting the Arctic Blue over the Albany slip, I did the opposite. I dipped this entire little demo pot into the Arctic Blue, and then when it was dry, I dipped the rim into the Albany slip, and I'm very pleased. Got to get that so it focuses. There we go. It's got movement, texture. It's still a nice bright blue. The dripping looks really yummy. And if I do this right, I could still keep the insides a nice bright Arctic Blue if I just do the rims. So if somebody's buying a salsa server, they'll still get that nice ocean blue. So I'm not disappointed with that outcome at all. I don't like it as much as I like it on the Bella's Blend, which was opposite. Again, this is the Arctic Blue over Albany Slip on white, and this is Albany Slip over Arctic Blue on speckled brown stoneware. So another thing I did, just because in my experience, a glaze I have called cream tends to pull glazes down. It gets nice and drippy without altering the color too much. So on this little handleless pitcher, I'll see if I can actually show you what this thing is. Well, anyway, on this little handleless pitcher, which was done in speckled brown, I used Albany Slip from the bottom up, put a little cream on the rim, and then put Arctic Blue from the top down. And it's pretty, but you see how you can see the straight lines in the change of color? There's no nice drippy blend. That's just my personal taste. I don't like the straight lines. I like things that move and blend into each other. So it's not that I don't like this particularly, it's just I don't love it as much as I love this one. Albany Slip on the rim over Arctic Blue on brown, and that one, Arctic Blue over Albany Slip on Bella's Blend. So in this same test, I did another Arctic Blue over Albany Slip. But again, although the color on the rim is beautiful and the Arctic Blue over the Albany Slip is beautiful, I don't like that transition into the Albany Slip. It's too much of a line for me, although it's pretty. And maybe I could do something to help that move a little bit. Okay. So while I had the cream out, which is what I put on the rim first, I decided to try cream with Arctic Blue. And I had a couple of bowls. I was just doing demos. So sometimes it's fun to do opposite. This bowl dipped entirely in Arctic Blue with cream on the rim, and this bowl dipped entirely in cream with Arctic Blue on the rim. It's a nice way to see what your colors are going to do, especially when they're colors you know you kind of like. You know it's not going to destroy the pot. And it's fun to sell them as sets because they're opposites. People like them. I'm not going to do it again. There wasn't enough movement for me. It's hard to see the color of this cream. This cream turns out to be sort of a beigey buttercup-y color. It's really very pretty. And Arctic Blue is so fresh and nice. Somebody's going to like this little set of bowls. So I learned a couple of things. One is that I'm not going to do either of these combinations regularly, but it makes a cute little set. Okay. I've also been trying to make Chung Plum and a color I have called Sea Mist work together. When I put the test tiles together, and you get up close on this good color, this is just going to be a nightmare to watch, isn't it? They're opposite color wheel colors, and they're just so brilliant together on the test tiles. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. But again, this is on earthen red clay. It does not give the same effect on other clays. That's important. I have to make sure I keep that in mind. You can sort of see it there. So I did a test. Now this is a really, really important test. You see how the Chung Plum blends down into the Sea Mist. And if you have to use your imagination now. So I would have Chung Plum, gently over the Sea Mist. That's what you see there, that kind of mottled, bright, blotchy green. which is also dripping on the edge here. So I'm going to test it again and see if it truly drips down into the green. So the idea is sea mist from the bottom up, chun plum from the top down with an overlap of about a third of the pot, so that there will be the purple color, then a drippy, mottled blend into the green color. And why am I going through all this? Because, this is the kind of stuff that takes years to really figure out and get used to and try. And it's so important that you do this kind of testing before you put your glaze on a good pot. And even then, you never know what's going to happen. Sometimes a larger pot, a lot of glaze, and it just doesn't work. Okay, one more thing. This is my new batch of Albany Slip. I just made it. I tested it on my speckled brown stoneware. Every time I make a new batch, I test it before I use it on pots. Very important. I compare it to the test from the last batch I made, which is the one underneath, and they are identical. This is what it looks like on speckled brown stoneware. So if I can get a perfect match on one of my test tiles, then I can feel pretty confident that when I go to put it on my Bella's blend, I'll still get that nice beachy sandy look. I don't have to retest on every single clay that I have. You can see that beautiful difference there. They're both beautiful, but they are definitely different. Okay, so this is a pretty long video. I apologize for that, sort of. I hope anybody who needed to learn a few things did. Again, it's my personal preference. I got to have that blend or I'm not happy. And it looks like both of these work on small pots, and I'm praying that it works on a big pot. Thanks for watching.